Imagine a stadium-sized asteroid is going to hit Earth in 2 weeks. Even at this moderate size, the impact is a power beyond comprehension. A fireball brighter than the sun tears through the atmosphere at 60 times the speed of sound. The disruptive power of 4,000 Hiroshima bombs flattens cities, killing millions.
This isn't science fiction. Many killer asteroids were only spotted at the last moment.
In 2019, asteroid OK was discovered just 1 day before it grazed Earth.
It passed closer to us than some of our own satellites floating in orbit. Last year, the even larger asteroid MK was spotted 13 days before it passed closer than the Moon. Had they hit, they would have unleashed a shocking wave of destruction. Stunningly enough, humanity doesn't really have a complete plan for this kind of scenario. Scientists have devised all kinds of tricks to push dangerous asteroids away over decades. From painting it to deflect sunlight, to landing thrusters to steer its course.
Scorching it with lasers, or even kinetic impact by crashing spacecraft into it.
But they all share one big problem. They are too small a gesture for a body so vast. They're the equivalent of trying to deflect a massive cargo ship by throwing a bag of potatoes at it. They do move the asteroid, yes, but only by a tiny, almost imperceptible bit. With these methods, you need to act years, or even decades, in advance to make an asteroid miss.
But what if we only have 14 days? What if the threat is already upon us?
Very recently, scientists have developed a new, spectacular way to destroy killer asteroids.
A method we could actually implement with the rockets and knowledge we possess today. Let's see how this works with our 100-meter asteroid heading straight for us. The secret weakness of asteroids lies in what they are actually made of. For a long time, we imagined them as gigantic stones made of rock and metal. But it turns out most are not like that. They are more like bags of loosely packed gravel.
Heaps of pebbles, precious minerals, and dust barely held together by gravity.
Which means that instead of just nudging them, we can do something better. Pulverize them. And the obvious choice to achieve that, of course, would be a nuclear bomb. So, let's go. We load up a nuclear warhead, we launch, and we aim at the deadly asteroid. The trajectory is set, and the fate of millions hangs in the balance of this single shot. Oh, the asteroid just destroyed the nuke before it could even detonate. Asteroids approach Earth so fast. No bomb we have ever made could survive such an impact.
Okay, easy. We'll explode the bomb before it touches. An airburst detonation.
The explosion has made a dramatic crater, and yet nothing else has changed.
Unfortunately, in space, there's no air to carry a shockwave, so most of the energy is lost.
The rock will still hit us in 2 weeks, only a few kilometers to the left of the original target.
Striking this behemoth with an airburst nuke is like hitting our cargo ship with a washing machine.
Okay, let's go the movie route. Land someone, drill a hole, and bury a nuke deep inside.
This is theoretically possible, albeit suicidal in practice, due to the inherent difficulty of landing. Even on Mars, whose surface we know perfectly, roughly 70% of our attempts have failed. Drilling in microgravity is agonizingly slow, since there is no downward pull to help you. We'd need an agonizing amount of time that we simply do not have on a 2-week notice. Sadly, that's not the answer. We have to think less like Hollywood blockbusters. If you want to split a log, you don't hit it with a rock that merely bounces off. You use an axe, a dense and perfectly shaped tool designed to break things apart. In the same way, scientists have found a new tool: super dense, ultra-fast cosmic bullets. Our cosmic bullets are called Penetrator, made of tungsten, a metal way harder than any rock. They work in an extremely simple way. You just put them in the way of the incoming asteroid.
From the perspective of the asteroid, it sees the tiny bullets rushing at it with tremendous speed.
It doesn't matter who is standing still and who is fast. The relative speed is the key.
By far, the longest part of this mission is simply to get the rocket there in time.
Our atmosphere can absorb isolated chunks, but thousands together would cause a deadly shock wave.
So we need to get it one day before impact, when the asteroid is nearly 2 million kilometers away.
A vast distance, but doable. Our current rockets can cover this in about a week of travel.
We will send just one penetrator, about 2 meters long and weighing 2.5 tons.
Once our rocket arrives, it puts the penetrator in place to cause the maximum possible damage.
And then we wait. A moment of silence before the inevitable collision.
A tiny speck of light appears in the vast, humbling distance of the cosmos. We'll slow down time to see exactly what happens in the moment of impact.
The asteroid crashes into the penetrator with so much violence and force
that the power of 120 metric tons of TNT is released instantly.
The rock vaporizes and the tungsten melts away, carving a deep wound that tunnels through the asteroid.
The damage is too much for this loosely held rubble pile to bear.
With all of this energy looking for a place to go, the asteroid is blasted into thousands of pieces.
The debris spreads out into a diffused, wide cloud, losing all destructive cohesion.
A day later, the fragments hit Earth, dispersed over hundreds of thousands of square kilometers.
Turning an apocalypse into a mostly harmless show of beautiful cosmic fireworks.
If we prepare and get everything ready, spotting a killer asteroid with 2 weeks' notice would be enough.
But this was just a small asteroid. What if we faced a true cosmic mountain?
A planet killer, carrying the destructive power of tens of thousands of nuclear arsenals.
The non-avian dinosaurs would tell you about it, but their voices are lost to time.
The most dangerous ones are comets, so distant and dark that tracking them is nearly impossible.
Comets are dirty ice balls, fragile but also much faster, traveling at around 140,000 kilometers per hour.
In 2020, Comet Neois, with 6,000 times all the nuclear bombs on Earth, was discovered only 4 months prior.
What if we find such a beast 6 months before it's going to crash into us?
Unfortunately, this would be extremely hard for a bunch of logistical and scientific reasons.
The planet killer has so much mass, simply breaking it into millions of pieces would not help us that much.
The chunks that hit would still be numerous and massive enough to set the sky ablaze and kill most life.
So, we need to make most, if not all, of its fragments completely miss Earth's orbit.
And to destroy a mountain, we need way more than a single bullet. We need hundreds of thousands.
To travel this far and transport this much payload, we need at least 24,000 super heavy rockets. As of today, humanity has 2 of them, and they are not really finished yet.
If we actually discovered a planet killer today, there is literally nothing we could do about it.
Except, maybe, if we combine the Penetrators with a bit of Hollywood and our old friend, the nuclear bomb. There is still a way, but it requires unprecedented, organized preparation beforehand.
A rocket like NASA's SLS, loaded up with everything we need, ready to launch at a moment's notice. As soon as the planet killer is spotted, we launch a single rocket to meet it in the void.
For 5 long months, it travels through the nothingness of space, a journey of pure commitment.
Meanwhile, life on Earth nervously continues, waiting for the fate to be decided millions of miles away. Finally, it reaches its destination, a desolate stretch of space, a bit beyond the orbit of Mars.
One perfectly lined up 2 kilometers after the other. The alignment is everything.
The engineering challenge of aligning and timing this correctly is horrendous, a colossal task. And we only have 1 attempt. This is why a few very brave astronauts go on this one-way trip.
Nervous hours pass as all of humanity watches the skies and screens, praying for success.
And then the moment comes. The icy mountain of death appears in full view.
The comet smashes into the first penetrator. A shock wave travels through the frozen mass,
unleashing the power of 2,000 tons of TNT. Ice and tungsten liquefy in an instant.
Here is the second one, perfectly hitting the same spot, punching directly into the crater. The third and fourth penetrators repeat the process again, smashing, melting, drilling. But still, this is just a scratch on the surface of the monster. The comet is not truly damaged yet.
And then comes the final penetrator, carrying its toxic, world-saving load. 300 megatons in nuclear warheads, 20,000 times more energy than the bomb that destroyed Hiroshima. It travels deep into the tunnel, guided by the path cleared by its predecessors.
And just before it hits the end, it explodes. This time, the nuke works as intended.
Instead of hitting nothing in the vacuum, the energy smashes into the rock and gravel and ice. A frozen world billions of years old dies from within, turning into a cloud of millions of fragments.
A cloud of millions of fragments spreading in all directions, completely dispersed by the internal pressure.
Humanity is saved. The impossible has been rendered merely difficult.
To make this happen in reality would take unprecedented planning and global precision.
And yet, it is possible. It's a testament to the power of human ingenuity and cooperation. Not in a century with sci-fi technology, but with the rockets, engineering, and knowledge we have today.
The universe is vast and chaotic, but in our hands, we hold the tools to navigate its deepest threats.
We are but a small, vibrant world, yet capable of defending our existence from cosmic accident.
Our greatest defense is not a weapon, but the capacity of our mind to think ahead and to organize.
The future remains uncertain, but the potential for survival is forged in the present moment.
And so, we look up, prepared, not with fear, but with a quiet, reflective confidence.